Hey everyone, we're back. And Jeremy has brought a small portion of his collection of Pokemon cards. And you've been wanting to do this for a while. What is the significance of Pokemon trading card game this year, next year? We're not talking about the video games. We're not talking about the animation. We're not talking about the iOS, the mobile game. We're talking about the good old trading card game, which you've been wanting to do for a while. Tell us a little bit about what's going on in the world of the Pokemon trading card game.
Well, thing is, you gotta think of it this way. Pokemon has been around since, well, the beginning, and the trading card game has always been going on. But just like the Pokemon series itself, it has its ups and downs. And now thanks to the boom of the huge success of Pokemon Go, along with the huge success of the 3D games, Pokemon trading card game has also seen a bump in success as well. See more and more people playing it. And right now is just a great time to get into it, not only for newcomers who've never played it, but also for those who already played as well. So, let's say for instance you was there playing back in the good old days of 1995 when the game first came out. Believe it or not, you see these boxes right here and here? Well, these are the 20th anniversary. Yes, Pokemon has been in our lives for like 20 years now. It's a long time. As such, they went ahead and did a little commemoration for it because let's put it like this. If the certain amazing app didn't touch enough nostalgia button right there, having the original 150 to go out and catch in real life, they've also put more emphasis on the original 150 lately in a trading card game by coming out with not only the Generations packs that came out right after Steam Siege, which this is Steam Siege. Basically what I'm talking about now is different expansions, different sets. The Generations kind of focus mostly on the 150 as well. Then they went ahead and
The
took
150.
the original 150.
Okay.
Back when Pokemon first came out, back in like the early 1990s.
95, 96.
Yes, good old Game Boy Color days. It wasn't actually Game Boy Color, I think. It actually was Game Boy.
Game Boy, yep.
Yes. Game Boy Color didn't come, peak Pokemon Yellow took advantage of Game Boy Color, but
Game Boy Pocket, because I remember when I was working back then I was working at a video game store, and when Pokemon, the video game, and the trading card games, we could hardly keep those in stock,
Yeah.
and then the video game, that re-energized the Game Boy market, and
they bounced off each other.
They did.
They bounced off each other hard, and the same thing is happening now. The phone app took off, and then the new game just came out as well. We'll get to that later. Mm-hmm. Amazing sales, just amazing sales like always. To me, ever since the DS kind of came out, to me, I've seen Pokemon break record, break record, break record. Each one of the main series have slowly been breaking records.
Right.
And because of this, people are into the game. They'd be like, you know what? Well, we want other avenues. We want more. And then they get into the trading card game. Mm-hmm. And the game they play off each other. So as such, like I said, they've been pushing that nostalgia button. In fact, they pushed it so much that actually they went ahead with the brand new release, which is the reason why we're talking about this, is because thanks to the 20th anniversary, you see these two bottom red and blue boxes. Notice it has Mega Charizard and Mega Blastoise. That's because of the fact that they came out with a set that actually re-released many of the original cards. Now you're wondering, like, wait a minute, those cards are old. I'm pretty sure that after years and years and years of playing the game, the cards only got stronger, bigger, and better, right? Well, believe it or not, they have the original artwork of the cards.
Really?
But they changed the stats of the cards. So that way that you can play these old original cards and still be relevant. Since the game first been released, the game has changed so much in a way, for Pokemon terms, it has evolved over time. Since the game came out, it has seen the creation of EXs, which are super powerful cards that you just throw down immediately. You don't need to, evolve them as time goes. You just, right off the bat, super powerful. And recently, because of the big X and Y expansion that came out, the 6th generation of Pokemon cards, as anyone who's played the game has found out that yes, the trading card also has Mega Evolutions, which are so powerful, but also has a drawback because if you play one to Mega Evolve, it costs you your turn unless you have a card that actually, I have them around here, but unless you have a card that actually, too many cards, unless you have a card that, as an item card that lets you play Mega Evolution without sacrificing your turn. But it also means that you're using up one more card in your limited deck. So it's a trade-off. Super powerful, but may cost you your turn. So out of all these new rules, including the incredible addition of these sideways super holographic break cards, I hope Tom later on zooms in on these babies because they're so beautiful. There's so much that happened over the course of the years. But like I said, they re-released these cards and gave them more power. That way they can still compete and be competitive. So, are you ready for this? Believe it or not, like I said, they re-released the cards with the original artwork.
So this is a re-release.
This right here is one of the cards from the brand new Evolution set that just came out. The original Pikachu. Look how fat and chubby he is. Look at that. It just looks adorable with those cheeks and everything. The original attacks, everything. But what they did is went ahead and said, you know what? Probably giving this guy 20 damage was good back in the day, but let's go ahead and give him 30. That's how they went ahead and rebalanced. They changed their HPs, they changed some of their moves a little bit. They probably increased their moves, so that way they do more damage, but the artwork is the same. The same feel is the same.
Take a look at that.
The original Mewtwo. Now, to give you some context of how he changed, not only did he get a nice health bump, so this way he doesn't get taken out so fast, and the new, because you know the new cards are quite powerful, but let's say for instance he used his main move, which usually did 10 damage, and then 10 damage more for each energy attack to your opponent's active Pokemon. Now, instead of doing 10 plus 10, it does 20 plus 20. Double may not seem like a lot, but let's say, for instance, someone had a, yes, this is the re-release of the double energy, then that means now you're looking at an insane boost in attack. Meaning that, yes, if you had this card originally and you tried to use it in today's game, it'll get defeated pretty fast and wouldn't even have any actual attacking power, basically. But with this new updated re-release in the original artwork, it felt like when you open these packs, whatever you were doing back in 1995 when these packs first came out just rushed right to you. For example, many of us are familiar with the original Charmander, Charmeleon, and the holographic Charizard, the really, really sought after cards of the original series, right? Charizard got a huge boost in health and attack, of course. But when I opened this pack up, I believe Nintendo smiled because I was hit with the nostalgia button so bad. It's just like I opened it up, I instantly felt as though I was a little kid in school, you know, opening up and like,
right.
Wow, this is the holographic Charizard everyone's been talking about. That's the feeling you had, you know. It's just amazing. And yes, I have other Charizards from other sets and everything, but just look at that original artwork. The originalness so much. It just looks so good. Like the original Switch, the original Misty's Determination. Opening these cards up out of these evolutions, and yes, the lower cards such as Stage 1, the basic cards like Pikachu, are pretty much not something you want to bring to an actual match. But just opening up and feeling that rush of nostalgia as you remember these cards back in the day. Anybody who's played the game back when it first came out, you might want to take a look at this because I'm telling you, it has been great. In fact, almost every single store that I went to when this expansion first came out was completely sold out.
Well, I have a question then. That's a pretty good question. You said back in school 20 years ago. Are people your age still playing Pokemon? What is the scene? What is the trading card game scene out there?
Believe it or not, all ages.
Okay.
I see little kids playing it, of course, but believe it or not, the more people I see are people my age older than me. You know, when when Pokemon first came out back in 1995, they were already an adult playing the game. So now they're just even older, and they opening these packs, and it's just like, wow. Like I was there for the pre-release for this new evolution set, and lots of the people I saw this family, right, and it was father, son, and daughter, and I'm thinking, oh, you know what? The kids got the dad. The kids got the dad to play. It was the other way around. The dad got the kids to play.
Okay.
So you literally, it's not an age thing. I see people of all ages playing it. You know, it's all over.
Awesome. You said pre-release. Is there a new? You mentioned there's a new series coming out, new deck coming out in February. That's why we kind of started wanting to hit on Pokemon cards.
Exactly. So another reason why I want to do this is because this whole 20th anniversary of Pokemon was really a beautiful send-off to the X and Y series. The X and Y series just came out. And
What is X and Y?
it's basically like the generation, like
Okay.
the sixth generation, as you see on these boxes and so on. It says X and Y right there.
Okay.
So in other words, it lets me know that these are the cards from like the last couple of years. X and Y first started in 2013.
All right.
So from 2013 till now, we've been in the X and Y series.
How many new Pokemon was added to X and Y?
It's got to be over 100. They usually
Okay.
add about 100, over 100 Pokemon each generation. And as we know, Sun and Moon just came out for the 3DS. We'll get to that soon. But
So how many Pokemon was the original generation? 150?
150.
150. So how many now is there total?
800.
800 Pokemon.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is up there. It's like 800 or more.
All right.
It's up there. It's a lot. To anybody, by the way, who can actually have every single Pokemon memorized and say their names legitimately without messing up, hats off to you. Hats off to you, because a lot of them, I mean, as you see, I love Pokemon, but some of those names, there's so many of them. I mean, for one thing, we started off with the original 150 with basically just Pikachu and Raichu as kind of like the rodent type Pokemon. There's so many now.
Yes.
Plus, minus, there's just so many. Like literally a lot. And